All right, Steve Anderson here from AndersonShooting.com. We're going to talk about group shooting right now. We're going to be at about 15 yards. 3 things you got to do. Aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, allow the gun to fire. That means a surprise trigger break on an acceptable sight picture. Not a perfect sight picture, an acceptable sight picture. So we're going to put the dot in the middle of the head generally, let it wobble around, let it do its thing because we can't stop it. And then, sorry about that, we're going to seek to have the gun surprise us when it goes off. Let's see what happens. Here we go. All right, that third one was more of a surprise than the others, but that does meet my standard of a coffee cup lid size group at 15 yards. The high one is probably the one that was a little bit more surprising than the others. It was more of a than a ah. So you don't really want a you want more of an ah surprise trigger break. Now, the dot's moving a bunch while all that's happening, but as long as you can fire that gun without disturbing that wobble zone, the group will actually be very good. Okay, I think I can do a little better than that, so let's try it again. Here we go. All right, we're going to try it again. You see I pasted up the old ones, so you should be able to see in glorious real-time, maybe even slow motion, thanks to my new editing skills. I should see a really nice group appear. Aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, allow the gun to fire. Okay, the dot may start shaking a little bit more as you put pressure on the trigger. That's okay. As long as you don't go, and snatch it real quick, should be fine. Let's go see how we can do. Always pull on your pant leg 3 times, remember. Fourth shot went off a little early, so I think we'll find that's the low one. But look at that. You guys could probably see it as it happened. That fourth shot broke a little early, but the other 4 out of that one are wonderful. So that's how you want to be shooting your groups. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to go strong hand at about 7 or 8 yards, and I flip the target around so you can see the brown holes instead of the white holes. We don't have white pasters, okay? So I turn the target around. So strong hand only, you're going to want to put your strong side foot out in front, in my case, my right foot or the correct foot. And the gun's going to be moving on even more. So it's really important that you don't try to shoot at a specific time. You want that gun going off to surprise you, because if you snatch that trigger when you think it's perfect, they're going down here for sure. So I'm just going to aim the gun. You'll probably see it moving a bunch. That'll be okay. My goal is 5 surprise breaks. Okay, let me check the front of this here. There we go. Now we got even more brown pasters on a white target. So confusing. The other thing you want to do is you want to avoid aiming at a super specific, that's hard to say. You want to avoid aiming at a super specific spot. Okay, put the dot or the sight in the head generally, just let it float a little bit. Okay, micro aiming, meaning aiming at a specific spot, is super prone to cause your group to expand. And if you aim at your bullet holes, woo-wee, they're going to expand faux show. All right, here we go. Strong hand only, 7, we'll make it 8 yards. Here we go. Strong hand only. All right, it actually wound up being 9. Whatever. My OCD compels me. Again, always pull on your pants leg 3 times, and then put your right foot out in front if you're right-handed. You're going to aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, and allow the gun to fire. I may only have 4 rounds here. We'll see. Now, if there's nothing in my chamber, when I go to fire that 5th shot, you'll be able to tell. And when you run out of ammo is a great way to tell if you're steering the gun as you press the trigger. Because if you're out of ammo and you hit the trigger and it does that, you know you're probably doing that every single time. Okay, here we go. I 5, and that was for sure a surprise break. You see shot number 4 got away from me a little bit, but the other 4 are beautifully done. Look at that. We're going to paste those suckers up. Oh yeah. Be right back. All right, I'm pretty happy with that last one, strong hand only, but I think I can do a little better. I might take a break in between the shots. The other thing I've done is I'm not going to paste the front anymore because the brown paste is on the white front, and that'll prevent me from aiming at bullet holes, maybe subconsciously. Right? When I was doing that last one, I saw that beautiful group forming. I may have unintentionally aimed at the bullet holes a little bit. This time I won't be able to do that, so that's another great way to check and make sure you're not doing that. Here we go, strong hand only. Let's see how we did that time. Well, look at that. 5 surprise breaks equals a great group every single time. If we don't get a surprise break, you could get lucky and get a good shot, but if you get a surprise break every time, that means you have not disturbed the gun as you fired it. That means your group is going to be inside that wobble zone. Now, the wobble zone's scary, and I'm not sure if you can see my muzzle moving or not. It was moving pretty good, okay? But if I get a surprise break, it's going to be inside that wobble zone, which is nowhere near as bad as it looks. Now let's do weak hand only and see what that looks like. Such a happy little group. All right, so everything we've discussed is going to get even more important weak hand only. And if you're getting fatigued, I've got the long mag here, and the ooh, that looks weird when you point at the camera. Is that frightening? Don't worry, there's no way you can get shot. It's not going to happen. Plus, the gun is pointed at the berm. Technically, it's pointed at you or the camera, but not really you because you're not here. It's pointed at the berm. Makes it perfectly safe. So, I do have a long mag, which is coming out of the Mighty Bull Armory SAS2 Heavy Metal URF Ultimate Racer full-length dust cover. Such a great gun. But it makes it a little heavy. So, if I get fatigued, I may want to drop the gun down a little bit, but when I bring it back up, I'm going to go to the middle of the head generally and not the bullet cluster or anything else. That's super, super important because micro aiming or aiming at a super specific spot will usually cause trigger. I don't mean to be joshing with the magazine. But at any rate, we're going to aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, allow the gun to fire. Okay, here we go. Weak hand only. This is going to be about 7 yards, okay? You want your left foot back out in front now if you're right-handed, which would be the incorrect foot. No, actually, it's the correct foot, but it's not the right foot. It's the correct foot. Here we go. Aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, allow the gun to fire. A little shaky. If there's an issue, it's probably going to be on the 4th shot. Let's see how we did. Yeah, it's probably that one. We'll find out on the instant replay, but you can still see that's basically one connected hole with one little guy on that 4th shot. The gun was starting to get unacceptably shaky. You know, the wobble zone turned into kind of a this. And so I took a little bit of a break. I'm still very happy with that weak hand only. Or if you're a Marine, other strong hand or maybe support hand. Not real sure. We're going to do one more freestyle. Now that we have better camera technology, going to go back to about 15 yards. Here we go. All right, here we go. Freestyle 15 yards. Those all felt pretty good. I think that's going to be a good one. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Very, very nicely done. I bet it's fun to watch those pacers explode. Well within my standard of a coffee cup lid size group, 15 yards freestyle. Group shooting. Aim the gun, stop aiming the gun, allow the gun to fire. If you make the gun fire, there's a good chance you'll jerk the trigger. But if you let it go off whenever it wants to, just gradually increase pressure. It's hard with Glocks. Glocks are the hardest ones to do it with because you get to that wall, you want to whack that wall. Well, if you're a wall whacker, well, hopefully if you're a wall whacker, not also a bottom grabber, when you go to transfer to the weak hand, you know, if you're a bottom grabber and you transfer over and you're a wall whacker, that could be problematic. But Glocks, particularly a stock Glock, you get to that wall and it's very tempting to want to hit that trigger really hard. You just gotta kind of roll through that wall and your bullets will go nice and straight. All right? Group shooting, strong hand, weak hand, and freestyle. AndersonShooting.com, insiders only. Thank you so much for your support. By the way, I want to thank John Royer from OutdoorDynamics.net for the sweet 9mm ammo that we're using for today's group shooting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Great shooter, great ammo, remanufacturing the finest competition ammunition in the world. OutdoorDynamics.net. Thank you.